why they do not want to burden me with their own. What they don't seem to understand is that their problems are already my problems. I may inherit my mother's weak tear ducts. If she walks into a breeze, the tears come out of the far corners of her eyes and run down towards her earlobes. I've decided the best way to get my parents to open up is to give them the impression that I am emotionally stable. I will tell them that I'm going to see a therapist and that he or she says that I'm mostly fine except I feel cut off from my parents and that they ought to be more generous with their anecdotes. There's a clinic not far from my house that contains numerous types of therapist. Physio, psycho, occupational. I'll weigh up which of the therapists will provide the least trouble. My body is pretty much perfect, so I plump for Dr. Andrew Goddard, BSc, MSc, a physiotherapist. When I phone, a male secretary answers. I tell him that I need an early appointment with Andrew because I have to go to school. He says I can get an appointment for Thursday morning. He asks me if I've been to the clinic before. I say no. He asks me if I know where it is, and I say yes. It is close to the swings. I am amazed to discover that there are detective agencies in the Yellow Pages, real detective agencies. One of them has this slogan, "You can run but you can't hide." I fold the corner of the page for easy reference. Thursday morning. I usually let Mum wake me up, but today I've set an alarm for 7. Even from under my duvet, I can hear it bleating on the other side of my room. I hid it inside my plastic crate for faulty joysticks, so that I would have to get out of bed, walk across the room, yank it out of the box by its lead, and only then jab the snooze button. This was a tactical maneuver by my previous self. He can be very cruel. As I listen to it, the alarm reminds me of the car alarm that goes off whenever heavy goods vehicles drive past. The car is owned by a man at number 16 on the street below us, Groveland's Terrace. He is a pansexual. Pansexuals are sexually attracted to everything. Animate or inanimate, it makes no odds. Gloves, garlic, the Bible. He has 2 cars, a Volkswagen Polo for every day and a yellow Lotus Elise for best. He parks the VW in front of his house and the Lotus out the back, on my road. The Lotus is the only yellow car on my street. It is very sensitive. I've watched him many times as he jogs up through his back garden, swings open the gate and points his keys at the road. The wailing stops. If it happens late at night, he looks up to see how many lights have come on in the windows of the houses on my street. Checks the car for scratches, tenderly sliding a large hand over the bonnet and roof. One night it cried intermittently between the hours of midnight and 4 in the morning. I had one of Mrs. Griffiths' maths tests the next day and I wanted to let him know that in our community, this behaviour is not acceptable. So I came home at lunchtime, having performed poorly in the test. Went into the street and made myself sick on the bonnet of his Lotus. It was mostly blueberry Pop-Tart. The rain that afternoon was fierce and by tea time the lesson had been washed away. When I make it down to breakfast, Dad asks me why I'm up so early. I'm going to see a therapist at 8:30, Dr. Goddard, BSc Ons. I say this as if it's no big deal, this newfound responsibility taking. He stops dead in the middle of slicing a banana on his muesli. The open banana skin sits in his palm to protect him from the downward slash of his spoon. This is a man who knows about maturity. "All right, good for you, Oliver," he says, nodding. Dad admires preparation. He leaves his muesli in the fridge overnight so that it can fully absorb the semi-skimmed milk. "Yeah, it's no biggie, I just thought I'd like to have a chat about a few things," I say, all casual. "That's good, Oliver. Do you want some money?" "Yes." He pulls out his wallet and hands me a 20 and a 10. I know when I'm spending Dad's money because he folds the top of his 20s back on themselves, like a bedsheet, so that they fit inconspicuously into his wallet. Blind people also fold their banknotes. 8:30, he says, looking at his watch. "I'll drive you there." "It's only on Walters Road, I'll walk." "It's okay," he says. "I want to." In the car, Dad treats me gently. I'm very impressed. He checks his wing mirror, signals right and turns onto Walters Road. "That you're doing this, Oliver." "It's nothing. But you know, if you want to talk about anything, then me and your mum have been through quite a lot. We might be able to help." "What sort of thing?" I ask. "You know, we're not as innocent as you think," he says, with a little sideways glance that can only mean sex parties. "I would like to have a chat sometime, Dad." "Oh, that'd be great." I smile because I want him to believe that we have a chummy rapport. He smiles because he thinks he's a good father. Dad stops beside the clinic and watches me walk across the forecourt. I wave at him. His face is tense in a mixture of pride and sorrow. The practice looks nothing like a hospital. It reminds me of Grand's house, all banisters and carpet. On the wall is a